I know this may be difficult,
Whoa.
but if you could each please share.
I messed up. I messed up bad.
No, I don't think it's a good idea you be driving. But I'm okay.
What it was that caused you to want to take your own life.
No, I just can't. I just can't.
This can be difficult, but I think it's great that each of you have been able to talk about what happened.
Welcome to another edition of Love in Action. And I am your host, Rev.Paul Jakes at the New Tabernacle of Faith Baptist Church. And we are excited to have you with us once again. I tell you, it's been a beautiful day today, and we are excited that we have another show that is going to provide much information and education. And I have as a special guest today none other than Miss Respect, Miss Aretha Tatum. And she is one of the most dynamic young ladies in the city that is not only a producer, not only a writer and author, not only one who has done some acting, but also she is very much one who has done some writing of a wonderful movie, and I'm excited. And it is entitled The Light, am I right?
See the Light.
See the Light. And I am glad that we see the light on you. And we're glad to have Miss Respect, Miss Tatum. How are you?
I am wonderful. Excited to be here.
Great, great. Well, Minister Tatum is a friend of mine, and I'm glad to also say that she just celebrated a wonderful birthday, and I'm glad that she's really having a good time, and this is that weekend, and she's going to really just enjoy herself. But today we're talking about a movie that is coming to many of you all through Chicago and across the country. See the Light, see the light. But before we even look at this trailer, we want to find a little bit about Miss Respect. Miss Minister Tatum, can you tell us a little bit of who you are and where you were born and things such as that?
Oh, wonderful. Born and raised in Chicago. My official title is Minister and Director of Courage Over Fear Productions, which is a facet of Free Life, Life-Changing Ministries. What we do workshops and seminars that encourage and uplift and ignite faith. So I love being able to use the information from the Word of God and then translate it into information in workshop form or film form or whatever the way God leads me.
Great. So this is a faith-based movie that you are producing?
Yes.
Oh man, that is absolutely great. And you've been a part of some movie festivals lately?
Actually, See the Light, we did a premiere in Chicago, and then it was selected for the Inspire Faith Film Festival and also the Chicago Southside Film Festival.
Sounds good. And I had the wonderful opportunity of going and looking at the movie. I said, wow, this is great. And I really enjoyed it immensely. And I'm sure that those of you that get a chance to see it, you're going to say, yes, this is the movie. Why is it the movie to see? Because it's dealing with something that is current, something that is dealing with the issues of today. She's dealing with the subject of suicide. And I think that this is a most important issue. The National Center for Health says that suicide is one of the leading causes of death in America. I mean, this is a very interesting and powerful subject, and many people are distressed, many people are going through much, and sometimes we find that the holiday season, we're approaching some of the summer holidays and others, and people become depressed, some of them become anxious, many are also dealing with the economic situations of the day, not having the jobs that they want to have, not having the money that they want to have to take care of their family. So it's so important that we look at this and explore this wonderful thing. So tell us, Minister Tatum, why did you do a movie on this particular subject? What inspired you?
Actually, it was a kingdom assignment. I was getting ready for work and just thinking about different things that were going on, and I was inspired to write this script, and it was written within a week. So it was definitely, Holy Spirit inspired, and I was excited and curious, thinking, okay, why this? Because this is not typically a subject you would think, oh, I want to do a film on this. But I got it. I got the fact that this is something that is really, really important. Mm-hmm. And I followed through by faith, and we got the film done.
That's great. That's great. I'm excited that you have gone forth, and I am a believer that the Lord inspires us. There are things that happen supernaturally that just motivates us and gets us to going forward. Even when I wrote my book, Breakfast with God, I was inspired to do so. And I just believe that we have to follow that. And if you don't follow it, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. There are a lot of components with doing a movie. I understand that music is also a part of it as well. Can you tell us what tracks did you use, or what musician helped you out with some of this music? This is a loaded question.
Yes, it is. Actually, as an independent filmmaker, you often look for independent artists to contribute music to your film, because music is a big part of filmmaking. And so I was blessed to have a songwriter, musician, Martin Jakes, Senior. I believe you met him before, but seriously, he blessed me with a song that was on one of his CDs called "I'm Encouraged." And when I was looking for music for the film, I played his CD, and when I heard that song, I said, "That's it," because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. The message is to encourage people.
Encourage, absolutely, yeah. Well, absolutely. Martin is my brother, and he's living in Georgia, and great writer, and I think the song is just absolutely great and quite appropriate for what movie that you have produced. I am so excited that we have a trailer of this movie, and I like for many of you to be able to see this trailer and to see what I'm talking about. It's exciting, and just kind of sit back, get your popcorn, and take a look at this this trailer for this movie.
I know this may be difficult, but if you could each please share.
I messed up. I messed up bad.
No, I don't think it's a good idea you be driving. But I'm okay.
What it was that caused you to want to take your own life.
No, I just can't. I just can't.
This can be difficult, but I think it's great that each of you have been able to talk about what happened.
That was powerful. That was powerful. Tell us about that particular scene that we just saw and the actors, whole thing.
Oh, well, the main part of the film takes place in a therapy session. So each of the main characters had made an attempt to take their own life, but they saw the light. But the next step was seeking help, being able to talk about what they went through. So the main point of the film is to bring out two things. Yes, God will keep a whole lot of people from committing suicide, but you still have to play your part. You still need to seek help. You need to talk about what you're dealing with, what got you to that point. So that's what we were able to bring out in the film, and it was a blessing. The actors that that auditioned for it and the ones I had in mind, because a couple of them actually worked on my previous film. So it's good when an actor says, I want to work with you again. So that was a blessing. But the interesting note is the person who plays Dr. Michaels, the counselor, April Gary is her name. She actually has a degree in clinical psychology. And I didn't know that when I reached out to her for the part. So again, as we went, God was putting it all together. The other thing that's interesting about making that film is we actually could have done a documentary on the making of See the Light, because as we went, I call it the secrets come out. And I kept encountering different people who say, oh, that's me. I almost killed myself. I tried a couple of times. Even one of the actresses in the film, she tried to slit her wrist twice before. So when she heard about the casting for the film, she was interested because that's her story, that if it wasn't for God, she would have been gone, because she literally did. And authors that I've already known, as they heard about the project, confessed, oh, that was me. I actually tried to kill myself a couple of times. So it was amazing to see, as we were working on this project, the number of people that you would have never thought, based on where they are now, that at one point they were in that dark space where they literally attempted to take their own life.
This is really remarkable, and I imagine that there are some counseling centers that are available out in across America that people can call and get assistance with. I know a few agencies in Chicago, but do you have any various agencies that
actually
can be
the
of help?
easiest way would be to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's the national network that will connect you to a local counseling center that actually will give you the assistance that you need. So I always refer to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and then no matter where you are, it will they will connect you to a local center that can help you.
That's good. Let's go back to, you were inspired by a higher power to do this. Is that what usually motivates you with most of the movies that you have done?
Yes, always. It was amazing, my journey. I was called into ministry, and then I received the revelation that media, arts, and entertainment is the area that God is using me in to minister. And so as part of that, films is a method of ministry. Wow. So I don't sit down and say, oh, I want to write a script on a story. I'm minding my own business one day, the next day, boom, the Holy Spirit will give it. And that's why I'm able to write it so quickly, because it's not coming from me. I'm just literally writing what I'm hearing, and it's amazing. And then I look at it and say, oh, okay, what's the lesson on this one? This one is suicide prevention. So I'm amazed by this journey and being able to use film as a ministry tool.
Right, right. Well, I'm interested in some of the actors that actually said that they were actually thinking about or tried to commit suicide. Has there now become a revelation that they can become advocates now for life, for helping others? What what is their mission now?
Living. Seriously, they're actors, so they didn't give up. They're still working on their craft. So the after is, I'm going to continue to press my way and work on my craft. And one of the interesting pieces of information I found out working on this subject is the fact that certain occupations have a higher risk of suicide, and entertainment is definitely one of them because of the uncertainty of getting another job. And another one that was interesting was construction, because there's uncertainty as far as when am I going to get my next, project to work on. And so that was really interesting to hear that those two occupations, because of the uncertainty of success in that field, can raise the stress levels and get you to a point of no return sometimes.
I have to admit that I was just really floored when Mr. Cornelius, who was over Soul Train, actually committed suicide. I mean, he seemed like he was the coolest guy on the planet, and he was always talking calm and things such as that. And then when it all came out, Mr. Cornelius, the host of Soul Train, actually took his life. Just floored me, and. So I guess it's something that just sneaks up on people, and they find themselves actually just swept away by this. I would like to say it's a disease to have something this this powerful to come and to move and to take them away like that. And do most people shoot themselves, or what is the biggest way that most people commit suicide, or do they take pills, things such as that?
Oh, I'm not sure about that, because I'm definitely not an expert on the subject. But what I found was interesting is I read somewhere, and I can't remember the article, that more women make the attempt, but more men are successful, because men tend to use more violent ways, such as shooting themselves. So, maybe a woman might use, pills or something, and there's a great possibility sometimes that someone will find them before, it's too late. But when you're using a gun, that's a whole different story. So that was an interesting piece of information that I found during my research, that they tend to use something that's a little more violent. But as far as what is the most common method, I'm not sure about that.
I am so concerned because I know that there are a lot of young people, especially in high school and college. Many times their exams are hard. There's a lot of stress. Sometimes the money is not there, and they might actually feel like this is the way out. But I'm encouraging them, even as they watch this program, that there is hope, that there is a brighter day ahead, that behind every dark cloud is a silver lining, and you don't have to give up or give in order to make the pain go away. But there is a brighter day ahead. And so I'm really encouraging people to take a look at this wonderful film. Tell us now, since we've got one film under our belt, what other film have you produced as well?
In 2017, Through His Eyes, The Inside of Bartimaeus was my first short film. And that is based on Mark chapter 10 of the Bible, blind Bartimaeus. And what's interesting about that film is it's a lesson on faith. And it's from his perspective, through his eyes. So you don't see anything. It's all audio, because of the fact that it takes you into his life. And so you hear the sounds of the people in the town and the sheep, and you hear the people that come up to him and talk to him, and it takes you on a journey through the life of a blind man. And so I was blessed to have that in a couple of film festivals and to win a couple of awards, because it won a creativity award, because it was different to see it from a blind man's perspective. And then at the end, if you read about Bartimaeus, you see that he encountered Jesus and his eyes were open. So at the end of the film, his eyes open and you see the beautiful sky. So it was interesting to do that film. And again, it was inspired by the Lord, because I wouldn't have thought of doing the film that way, because that is unique to do it from that perspective, but it's a lesson in faith. So at the premiere for that film, I had the audience close their eyes and just listen to the film, instead of, because there's nothing to see on the screen. And so many people were moved by that, because when you're talking about walking by faith, oftentimes you do get frustrated because you can't see. And even when you're dealing with the difficult situations, and that's what it is. You get to that point because you can't see a way out. But when you start to get in the habit of knowing that I can't see my way out, but I know there is a way out and God will make a way, that keeps you motivated. That keeps you going. So that's what Bartimaeus was. It was talking about faith. So when you take a message of faith and then you're dealing with a subject such as suicide awareness and prevention, you're going to have to actually put the two together, because to be able to withstand the storms of life that we all deal with, you have to do it by faith.
Well, you're brilliant, and I can see the brilliance coming out in how you have put these together and have produced them. How do you produce it without, because you're not a millionaire, am I right?
No.
So how do you actually get these programs produced?
The films, by faith, one step at a time. God, it's a kingdom project. I didn't come up with it. God gave it to me. So as I go, He connects me with people to help me. So as they say, favor isn't fair, but it is fabulous. So I always, thank God for free. Because sometimes people will bless you with locations or bless you with services. I had the movie poster, someone blessed me and they did it for free, So as I went, I'm running into people that are excited about the project that I'm doing, and they want to help and want to contribute. So it's a group effort to get the film done. And it's just, again, as I go by faith, I know that God is going to make the connections to get what I need to get done.
Distribution is a big issue. What do you say to a young movie producer that's starting to get the movies out? How do you distribute it?
Oh, well, that's not as easy because I'm doing short films. Short films, that's not necessarily the route you take with a short film, but if you're doing a feature film, a full-length film, oftentimes, especially in the faith-based area, with any film, you usually get distribution when you have a named actor that you have attached to the project. But the interesting thing is, if you have a project that is interesting and exciting and you have a part for a named actor that they haven't done before, because oftentimes they typically will get the same type of roles, but if you come up with a script that has something different for them to do, you can get their attention and let them know about it and try to get them on board. So once you can get a named actor on board, it makes it easier to get the attention of distributors, because when you think about it, you go to a store and you see DVDs, you're going to notice the ones with the actors that you've seen before, more so than ones you haven't. So, but you never should ever give up on approaching those that you say, oh, they're too big, they won't like my project. If it's good enough, they will.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is exciting. Now, has See the Light been on in just America, or has it gotten out a little bit broader?
Not yet, because we actually just finished the film in March. So we're just getting started with the film festivals and so forth. So
you're hoping that it will get out to some other parts of the world?
Yes, definitely.
Can you clue us in on maybe one or two spots that it might land soon?
We'll find out this fall if it is selected for a film fest in Germany.
Wow, that is
I
great.
mean, yeah, I definitely want it to cross the waters. My first film, See Through His Eyes, just did the Jamaican International Film Festival earlier this year. So it's exciting to see something that God led you to create go places I haven't been yet.
Yes, sure. Well, I want to, because of this move that your faith has given you, to give you an opportunity to speak directly to many that are watching on this cable program, to encourage their hearts and to say something to them that will be of a great help to them, that they can make it over the rough times in life. So I'd like you to look at that camera there and give us, am I right? This is a good camera here for her to look at. All right, at this camera here, and just speak to the thousands of those that are listening to encourage their hearts during this particular time.
Well, one thing I often say is life is a journey. It's full of ups and downs and challenges. And if you look at it from the perspective of a film, in the film you have your star, your hero, and you're actually the star of your own life. And you see the star go through challenges, but when you've seen enough films, you know that no matter what happens, if he's hanging off a cliff, if he's, in any kind of dangerous situation, that at the end, because he's the star, that he's going to make it. And so you have to see yourself that way too. I am the star of my life. And maybe I might make some bad choices or bad decisions, but you don't stop in the middle. You got to finish it all the way to the end, because the hero wins in the end. And if you see yourself like that, if you continuously see yourself like that, no matter what you're going through, in the back of your mind, I'm the star, I'm the hero, I'm going to win in my life. You keep going, no matter what you deal with. So always remember that, no one is better than you. They're just different. So when you keep that in mind, you can make it, guaranteed.
Well, I tell you, you have really given us food for thought, both in your film, and I am grateful again for you being with us, Ms. Tatum, and may God continue to bless you as you continue to do great works in the movie industry and in life. Thank you again. This is Rev.Paul Jakes and the Love in Action Ministry. Glad to be with you, and tune in to us once again. Thank you again, Miss Aretha Tatum. Thank you.
I want to tell you, changes I've been going through.